Hello everyone and welcome to my booktube channel. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to be doing the 25 bookish facts about me. I was tagged to do this by G Swizzle Books and she is lovely and Australian, so I will leave the link to her channel down below as well as the video of the original creator. Basically the premise of this is exactly what the title implies, 25 bookish facts about me. So today I'm going to be sharing those with you guys. Number 1, I read everywhere but outside, whether that means the couch or the bed or the hallway as I'm walking or whatever. I can read basically anywhere. I love reading in the car. I don't get motion sickness. The only place I don't really like to read is outside, but that's just because there's like insects buzzing around and it's annoying to me, but I can basically read anywhere. Number 2, I first read the Harry Potter series at the age of 11, which is the age where wizards finally get to go to Hogwarts, and so it was a really magical time for me and it was just perfect timing. Number 3, I have never read a single word of Twilight. Number 4, I prefer hardbacks to paperbacks in general, although I really have developed a love for those really super floppy paperbacks. I don't think I actually own any. Mostly I prefer hardbacks. Number 5, science fiction is one of the most intimidating genres to me. It's just complicated seeming and I don't see a lot about it on BookTube, really. I just don't feel like it's a genre that I connect with very much. I have enjoyed the science fiction that I've read, but so far I haven't read much of it. Number 6. Unpredictable plot twists are my favorite thing in the world. If you can have some shock value in your book, I will love it. Whether that's a good shock or a bad shock, I will love it. I'm all over plot twists. 7. I give a book about 10 pages to captivate me, and if it doesn't captivate me in about 10 pages, I give up on it and I don't read it. And that is mostly because, number 8, I struggle to DNF books, which means I struggle not to finish them. I'm so stubborn and I feel like if I get even 50 pages into a book, I have to finish it, otherwise I've wasted all this time and energy and effort. So if they don't captivate me in the first 10 pages and I don't think I'm gonna love it, I have to give up before I get too invested. 9. I have never actually read a Stephen King novel, although I've heard that he's amazing and a lot of people that I know love him. And he's such an influential man in modern literature, and I really would like to read some of his books in 2016. That's actually one of my bookish goals for this year. 10. The genre I actually reach for most often is fantasy. However, my favorite books in the world do not actually fit into a category, and they are mostly like these very atmospheric, violent, strange, character-driven stories, and I don't really think that fits into a genre necessarily, but that is definitely my favorite. 12. I adore rereading books. I think it's so much fun. I think the longer you wait between the first read and the reread can make it all the more magical because it's almost like you're reliving the first time that you read it. 13. The book I've reread the most is actually We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's definitely in my top 10 and I absolutely love this book and I think I've read it like 7 or 8 times at this point now. 14. Hyped up books really scare me because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to like them and so many people love them all at once, and so I usually wait a few more months after they've come out before I pick it up just because I'm scared. 15. The longest book in my collection is Les Mis, the unabridged edition by Victor Hugo. This is a terrible copy and it is in awful condition, but it is about 1,500 pages and it's the longest book that I own by far. I'm about 300 pages in and I don't dislike it, it's just so massive. I have a hard time reading it. 16. I can't listen to music when I read. I like a little bit of ambient noise, like if there's some talking in the background or anything like that, but I cannot listen to music at the same time as I read because I get distracted by the lyrics and I start singing along and dancing and it's just distracting and I can't do it. 17. The only books that I actually read aloud are children's books if I'm babysitting, or classic books. I like to read stuff like Pride and Prejudice and other classics aloud, but I have to do like the terrible British accent along with it because I just think it's more fun that way. How did you contrive to preserve the common sympathies of human nature when you resided here? I cannot recognize any sentiment which those around share with me. 18. Libraries give me life. I have loved the libraries from the very beginning of my reading journey because that is where my reading journey started. I love libraries, they're so much fun, and also I'm poor, so they are necessary to feed my addiction. 19. I have so many bookmarks in my collection, but I never actually use them. And when I need to mark a place in my book, I just grab like a random sheet of paper or a piece of toilet paper or random things that I should not be sticking in my book, but I do because I'm lazy and I can't cross the room and grab my bookmark. I have no real excuse, but it's just a fact. 20. I am willing to read a book with an ugly cover, but I'm not willing to own a book with an ugly cover. I will get it at the library or buy it on Kindle or anything, but I will not have an ugly cover sitting on my shelves because I just can't do it. The aesthetic is ruined by an ugly cover and I can't. 21. I don't lend out my books because they're like my babies, and what if someone spills mustard on my babies? What if they cry 1,000 tears on my babies? What if my babies get hurt along the way? I cannot let anyone hurt my babies, and so I do not let anyone else touch them. I have been burned before. 22. If I buy all the books in a series, they have to be in the same format, whether that's paperback or hardback. My favorite classic is actually Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. 24. On average, my favorite book in a series usually ends up being the second one, and I don't know why. I guess it's because the first one is good because it sets up the story and all of that, but for rereads it's not very interesting, but I usually like the second book in a series more than all the rest. And lastly, fact 25 is my first fictional crush was on Peter Pan, and this might have something to do with the 2003 movie, which had a really cute little boy in it, and I was obsessed with him when I was like 8, but anyway, the fact remains I was in love with Peter Pan, and I love his character to this day. I also don't think it hurt that the actor that played him in the movie was really hot, but that's not my fault. The casting directors did that. I'm not to blame. So that has been the 25 bookish facts about me tag thingamajig. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. You guys should let me know down below 1 or 2 bookish facts about you. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. I post videos twice a week. If you guys would like to follow me on Twitter or any of my social medias, I will leave the links to those in the description box below as always. Most of all, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!